The 60-minute interview featuring Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse was absolutely par for the mainstream narrative. The interview seemed to highlight the views of John Stark, the chief of internet enforcement at the SEC, more than Brad Garlinghouse, which is fine if you don't like your ratings. Margaret Brennan's point of view was fairly neutral. However, her questions didn't appear to be so easy for Ripple CEO. Great to see Brad lock in before taking his swing. Anyways, the production was overall opposing to the growing views of the global digital asset community, as well as appearing to be uninformed of what's going on with the movement of tokenizing real-world assets worldwide using blockchain. So I've gone ahead and helped CBS locate a few forgotten scenes to help with articulating their mainstream narrative. I hope you enjoy. Thanks for tuning in. Love you mucho.
Crypto voter is alive and well. People do care about these technologies, and people care about pro-innovation, pro-business, and pro-crypto candidates.
We spoke with Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of a company called Ripple, whose cryptocurrency XRP is now one of the largest in the world. What does a crypto voter look like?
They are teachers, they are nuns, they are audiovisual technicians, they are the United States.
There's a lot of people with good hearts who are genuinely interested in this.
John Reed Stark is the former chief of internet enforcement at the Securities and Exchange Commission. A critic of the industry, he says he owns no cryptocurrency, but has an understanding of those who do.
They have a mammoth distrust of financial institutions. And they love the edginess of the culture. And I think those people do vote. And I think that's another aspect of where these crypto PACs just executed a brilliant strategy, because they really tapped into that.
This may be part of that anti-government, anti-establishment movement in the United States.
Judge Lamberth recently ruled that Chansley is too dangerous to release and has to stay in jail pending his trial.
By the way, whatever happened to Hunter? Where the hell is he?
Does this trace us back to the financial crisis?
Bitcoin was created right after the financial crisis with this idea in mind.
But if you're of that mindset, if you're one of these people in this grassroots movement, you can look back at the crisis and say the government institutions failed, the banks failed, the regulators failed, everyone failed.
Biden, you're fired. Get out of here. You're fired. Get out. We don't want you. You've been the worst president in the history of our country. We don't want you.
I think that's an excellent point. In my mind, the people have spoken, and you've got to respect democracy. I feel passionately about the fact that crypto is something that this country should not allow.
It's not acceptable in any form.
No.
The United States will be the crypto capital of the planet and the Bitcoin superpower of the world, and we'll get it done.
So there's no audit, inspection, examination, net capital requirements, no licensure of the individuals involved.
And there's something called ATS, Alternative Trading System, in this space. It's a regulated exchange by SEC that allows folks to buy and sell these securities, tokens. Our customers can also integrate with those ATSs if they don't want to have their own ATS, which we have a software for it. And then these tokens can be issued in any of the ATSs, and then the investors can go and trade them in a regulated way.
And there's no transparency into it. That creates real systemic risk, not just risk for investors.
And USDC has settled over $12 trillion in value.
If you've ever bought a house, you know that it's very complicated to determine who owns a house. There's a lot of paperwork involved with the sale, recording the sale. There's a risk of fraud in the delivery of the payment, and of course in being able to prove ownership of the asset. Tokenization can eliminate all those problems by using digital distributed ledgers to track the ownership of assets. That also simplifies things like if you want to borrow against an asset, use the asset for collateral, the person who's providing you the loan can more easily determine that you own the asset, and they can make sure that you aren't borrowing from a number of different lenders.
But as passionately as I feel about that, I feel more passionately about democracy.
Look at you.
No, I want to be clear. I do not respect the SEC. I do not respect them.
But you're abiding by the settlement, aren't you?
Because I respect the justice system.
Crypto for all of us is...
Brad Garlinghouse is the CEO of a company called Ripple, whose cryptocurrency XRP became the third largest in the world this past week. Ripple's CEO says his company employs 900 people and has been working with regulated financial institutions to create a faster and cheaper way for people to send money overseas. XRP is the digital currency it uses to do that. But Ripple also sold the digital currency XRP to investors, and XRP now trades on exchanges where people can buy or sell it in the hope of making a profit. Ripple and two other companies contributed $144 million to super PACs that supported pro-crypto Republicans and Democrats. Of the 29 Republicans and 33 Democrats the industry backed in congressional races, 85% won.
It's incredible.
So you see this election as a major victory?
For sure.
With the value of Ripple's XRP currency up more than 300% since the election, but even some of the big financial names on Wall Street have been skeptical of crypto. Jamie Dimon called it pet rock.
Blockchain is real, it's a technology. We use it, it's going to move money, it's going to move data, it's efficient. We've been talking about that for 12 years too, and it's very small.
From black swan events to unimaginable money printing, we're living in biblical times ripe for transformation.
There are some that would like everything to operate on public chains, or ideally one public chain, their favorite one that they own an awful lot of tokens on. Then there are others that see a multi-chain model, where lots of different protocols interconnected with a seamless front end for the end users, where you can pull the underlying liquidities, maybe deploy in multiple venues. And then there are others that are going to try and do it in a completely private fashion, where you're taking the blockchain technology, but it's actually a series of permission chains that are fully controlled and not decentralized at all.
It's been a fantastic peek behind the curtains, because you can see that tens of millions of dollars is being moved by well-known companies now using crypto as the transport layer.
The World Economic Forum actually estimates the broader market, the target addressable market for tokenization of assets at 867 trillion, which is hard to imagine.
My name is Sanjeev Birari. I'm one of the founder and chief business officer of Zonex. We started in 2017, and up till today we have done almost close to around $5 billion of assets tokenized.
We're seeing a demand in the AI and finance combination, where the GPU level is being tokenized. Using the AI, they're modernizing it. And then now we want to measure the greenness that the GPU is emitting, that's offsetting to the ESG.
The adoption by enterprises is likely to accelerate, in my view, with three things. Number one, the emergence of clear rules in many parts of the world. Secondly, I think Ripple's introduction of the stable coin is going to massively increase adoption among banks and financial institutions. The third change we're going to see that's going to accelerate progress is the era of the regulated stablecoin.
I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Right, we've always used XRP, the digital asset that's kind of native to our technology stack. We've used that as a bridge asset to transfer money across borders. What we have found is that stablecoins, particularly US dollar stablecoins, has gone from a pretty small market to today it's about $170 billion worldwide. And people think that may end up being 2 to 3 trillion in about 5 years.
What are banks doing? They're not sitting idle. They're buying fintechs and adopting their technology to enhance their lending operations. By changing the nature of financial intermediation and fostering competition, fintech can significantly strengthen the transmission of monetary policy decisions to the wider economy, influencing interest rate, asset prices, credit conditions, and ultimately growth and inflation.
Tokenization needs to grow. Tokenization will facilitate what you call a large value asset. An ordinary individual who doesn't have the affordability can become a part owner of a high valued asset. That is what blockchain will facilitate. That is what tokenization will facilitate. That is the technology part of it. The technology part of it needs to grow. But the product which is, bought and sold in the market, which is traded, it is a highly speculative activity.
Let me be clear. I think ETFs are step one in the technological revolution in the financial markets. Step two is going to be the tokenization of every financial asset. And to me, this is where we believe it's going.
You can make everyday transactions using gold, silver, or fiat currencies like USD and the British pound, all through one cutting-edge application and a Glint MasterCard.
In economics, things take longer to happen than you think they will. And when they happen faster than you thought they could.